Let's face reality without filters. Most men hear a woman's words but cannot decode what she is actually communicating. She says one thing with her lips, while her timing, silence, and eyes are sending a different broadcast. If you cannot read this contrast, you will spend years thinking women are some kind of mystery. But the truth is simpler. Their patterns are predictable. And let's make this clear. This is not about blaming women or turning relationships into a battlefield. This is about awareness, the kind of knowledge fathers were supposed to pass to their sons, but didn't. Once you understand the emotional engine behind her words, the fog disappears. You stop stumbling over mixed signals. You stop waiting for clarity that will never come. You start living with backbone instead of wishful thinking. Before we break down the first lie, do me a favor. Smash the like button, subscribe, and let's keep building men who understand themselves, their value, and the women they deal with. Let's begin with one of the most common lies, a sentence disguised as mercy. I'm not ready for a relationship right now. It sounds soft, reasonable, even noble, but it hides one critical truth. I'm not ready for a relationship with you. This isn't about timing, healing, career, or finding herself. It's about a lack of genuine desire. She isn't telling you she needs time. She is signaling something entirely different. The man I truly want hasn't chosen me yet, and you are the emotional buffer while I wait. Many men make the fatal mistake of taking her words as a challenge, thinking patience will change her feelings. But that is self-deception, my friend. Passion doesn't follow a savings account system. If she wanted you, time would not exist as an obstacle. Desire is instant. Hesitation is a sign. When a woman feels real impulse, doubts evaporate. She rewrites schedules, cancels plans, and finds 1,000 ways to see you instead of one excuse to avoid you. Women never risk losing a man who excites them by pretending to be not ready. Why doesn't she tell you the truth? Because society trains her to wrap rejection in soft packaging, so she avoids guilt. She prefers you walking away thinking she's complicated rather than realizing she simply didn't want you. It keeps her image clean while leaving you in limbo. But the essence remains. You are not the hero of her story. You are the safe harbor for her loneliness. And if you accept this role, you become an emotional storage unit until the man she is ready for appears. Value your time. Don't invest in illusions that will never pay dividends. Now let's move to the next trap, a lie that can break a man financially and mentally if he takes it literally. Money doesn't matter to me. This classic line is usually spoken in a soft tone that makes it sound spiritual, almost elevated above material concerns. Men hungry for sincerity swallow it instantly, thinking, finally, someone who values my soul, not my bank account. But don't be fooled by this beautiful wrapping. When she says money doesn't matter, she isn't rejecting wealth. She is rejecting men who worship money and forget emotional connection. Her real message is, I want a man who values me more than his ego, but who can still provide a safe environment. For her, money is not about greed or luxury. It's a marker of direction, responsibility, and proof that you are steering your life rather than drifting. Even the most free-spirited woman feels calmer next to someone who can take a hit and manage resources. Instinctively, lack of stability feels like a threat to survival. Stability is an ancient language of attraction, wired into her biology. She reads your reliability not with logic, but with intuition. She needs to know the man beside her won't collapse at the first crisis, leaving her alone to deal with the fallout. So when she says, happiness isn't in money, never translate it into, "I'm fine living in poverty forever." She may support you during the building phase, but she will not accept a life where stagnation becomes permanent. She doesn't fall in love with the bills, but with the competence behind them. The energy of a man who can hunt the mammoth in any economic landscape. Do not mistake her declared simplicity for permission to stagnate. Because the moment another man turns his ambition into results, her belief that money doesn't matter evaporates instantly. Now let's move to the third lie, one of the most dangerous because it goes straight into the male ego. I usually don't do this, but with you it's different. This isn't a spontaneous confession. It is a carefully crafted tool, a psychological weapon sharpened perfectly for the vulnerabilities of male pride. It's designed to make you feel chosen, exceptional, the man who breaks through her supposedly unbreakable rules. But here's the truth. When someone loudly reminds you of their purity or strict boundaries, it is usually preparation to justify what they are about to do. She understands the male instinct for conquest. She knows men judge availability harshly, so she builds an alibi in advance. She places a halo on her head, then hands you the medal for knocking it off. She wants you to feel victorious instead of suspicious. But reality is simple. If she breaks her rules with you within hours or days, those rules never truly existed. The partners change, the scenes change, but the emotional algorithm stays the same. This phrase is not about your uniqueness. It is about image control. Women often master the art of appearing, not being. She doesn't lie to hurt you. She lies to protect her image of the good girl in your eyes. Men fall into the trap because they mistake performance for connection. They think they've unlocked a rare part of her soul, but they are simply watching a script she has repeated before with different actors. Jung said, "We meet ourselves in 1,000 disguises." She isn't revealing a rare facet. She's replaying an old routine. If she breaks her rules for you immediately, understand this: the rules only existed in words. You are not the exception. You are simply the next participant in a pattern she has repeated many times. The names change, but the emotional script remains the same. The biggest trap is this: men mistake her performance for a deep emotional connection. They think, "I unlocked something in her no one else could." But in reality, you've walked into a room where many men have stood before you, hearing the exact same line delivered with the same soft tone and same calculated innocence. Memorize this truth. If she usually doesn't do something, she won't do it. No spark will make her betray her deepest principles in one night. Now let's move to the fourth lie, the one that reveals more about her emotional health than anything else. My ex means nothing to me. Men breathe a sigh of relief when they hear this, but the human psyche doesn't delete emotions with a sentence. Feelings don't vanish. They either transform or hide underground, influencing fears, reactions, and choices. Often when she says this, she is lying not to you, but to herself. Denial becomes armor against pain, anger, or the desire for revenge. Ask yourself, if he means nothing, why is his name still present in conversations? True indifference is silent. Whenever she mentions him, whether to mock, demonize, or compare, it is smoke from an emotional fire still burning inside. By dragging his ghost into the present, she unknowingly gives him a seat in your relationship, and you become the man trying to compete with someone who isn't even physically there. If you join this dynamic, you become a crisis center worker, cleaning up emotional wreckage left by someone else. You spend your best energy fixing what you didn't break. And when she finally heals with your help, she may leave, because you become associated with her wounds, not her strength. So when she says her ex means nothing, don't argue. Watch her actions. If she is healed, she will not feel the need to prove or declare anything. People don't talk obsessively about what they've genuinely forgotten. If her ex's shadow still wanders through your conversations, he hasn't disappeared. He has simply become an invisible third presence controlling the emotional rules. As long as this phantom sits on the throne in her mind, you will always be a temporary substitute, never the king. Now let's move to the fifth lie, one that derails good men more than any other. I want a nice guy. This line is a master-level trap because men and women define nice completely differently. To the average man, nice means agreeable, peaceful, accommodating, someone who avoids conflict and always tries to keep things smooth. But in the female dictionary, nice has a very different structure. When she says she wants a nice guy, she wants a man who has kept the warmth of his heart without losing his steel backbone. She doesn't want an emotional weather vane that spins with every shift in her mood. She wants a rock, someone who respects her emotions but doesn't let them steer the ship or sink it. She seeks a man who can contain her chaos while fiercely protecting his own boundaries. A man who bends when he chooses, not because he is afraid. This is where many men destroy their chances. They place her on a pedestal from day one, thinking unconditional worship guarantees love. But women don't fall for men who hand them a crown they haven't earned. They fall for men who treat themselves as kings first, and then graciously invite her into the kingdom. A nice guy without the ability to say no, without self-respect, becomes background noise. He loses the masculine tension that fuels attraction. Without healthy authority, kindness mutates into weakness, and weakness is the fastest killer of desire. The paradox is brutal but true. Be kind to her, but be dangerous to the world for her sake. In her language, nice means warm, grounded, protective, not soft clay that can be molded into anything. Now we reach the sixth and final lie, modern and strategically crafted to strike directly at male expectations. I'm not like other girls. At first, these words sound like music to a tired man's ears. They make you think you finally found the exception, the rare one who rises above the rest. But let's tear the mask off. This phrase is not a description of who she is. It is marketing, a performance engineered to bypass your defenses. Men today crave uniqueness in a world full of copies. She knows this. She knows that this line works like an admin password, lowering your guard before you have even understood who she really is. Burn this into your mind. A woman who is truly different never has to announce it. The moment she says, "I'm not like the others," she reveals not her uniqueness, but her insecurity, her fear of being average, of blending in with the very women she tries to distance herself from. She uses verbal camouflage because, on some level, she knows her actions have not yet proven anything. She wants to shape your perception before reality reveals the truth. This is aggressive self-promotion, not genuine self-awareness. And here's the irony. The ones who shout the loudest about being unique often run on the same emotional software as everyone else, just with a fancier interface. The difference is usually not in values or character, but in presentation and self-selling skills. True rarity is quiet. It shows itself in discipline, loyalty when you're down, dignity during conflict, and the way she speaks of others when they're not in the room. Real uniqueness doesn't need slogans. It speaks through behavior. So when you hear "I'm not like the others," step back. Turn on cold analysis. Ask yourself whether the real person matches the shiny branding she's selling, or whether you're holding a polished imitation designed for a naive buyer. Now let's tie the pattern together. Women are not enemies. They simply follow their nature, where instinct and emotion often override logic. But their words can become a map full of false coordinates. If you cannot read the emotional terrain beneath the surface, you will walk straight into dead ends. A wise man does not argue with chaos. He doesn't chase hidden meanings everywhere. He doesn't swallow bait just because it tastes sweet. He stands firm, like a lighthouse in a storm. He reads truth, not through words, but through actions, pauses, and energy. And he chooses with clarity, without resentment. Your silence, your standards, and your self-control will protect your future better than any romantic promise whispered in the heat of the moment. Before you leave, I want to hit you with one question. And if you have even a shred of honesty, answer it in the comments, because your reply might expose a truth most men never admit out loud. What is the biggest lie a woman told you that you knew was a lie, but you still pretended to believe it because you didn't want to lose her? Think about that for a second. Because that moment, not the lie itself, reveals exactly where your standards, fears, and self-respect were at the time. And if this breakdown opened your eyes, there's one more thing you need to watch. There is a specific behavior women use to test a man's strength. Subtle, universal, almost invisible. If you can't recognize it, you'll misread her and sabotage yourself without ever understanding why. I left the link in the comments. Go watch it. It ties directly into everything you just learned. And once you understand that test, you won't react to women the same way again.